What's good, everybody? We back with another video. My energy, it should be here. It's about here. It's late, but I'm still finna get this video out for you guys. Gonna get some picks in for Thursday night football, Chiefs versus Broncos. Now let's just go ahead and get into the first pick. First pick of the day, we're gonna go with McKinnon over his receiving yards. They had his rushing yards at 9.5, which I liked, but they bumped it down to 8.5. So I'll probably stay away from that just because it's like blowout potential, and they can still run the ball, even though he gets like 2 attempts a game. Let's go to StatMuse and check out the stats. So Jerry McKinnon versus the Broncos, he smashed this line every single time. We're gonna exclude the time he was with the Vikings. Every single time with the Chiefs, and this is all recent too. He smashed this line. Now, you could say, some of these games, he was getting more attempts. He was a higher on their depth chart. Well, we could look against, first, I'll even show you his game log now. You see, he's still getting over the, 14.5 receiving yards a game now, even with short workload he's getting. Now, if we look at a CBS Sports fantasy points versus position, running back versus Broncos, they give up the worst fantasy score to running backs. Now if we look at receiving, they give up 51 yards, which isn't the worst, but it's still up there. It's probably top 5 worst. So I feel like that's pretty bad for them. You could also go with Pacheco receiving, but I think McKinnon gets the most target share from running backs. If we look at outlier, this is his season. He's 3 of 5 on the season. But in my opinion, I think this is a smash. If you look at the target share and the plays that he's been playing, I think he can get this pretty easily. With the next play, we're going to go with Harrison Butker over his 8.5 fantasy score. Against the kicker, the Broncos are the third worst against the kicker position. They give up the third worst fantasy points to the kicker position. Now they give average of 9, and his line's at 8.5. And if we go look at their history, Harrison Butker versus Broncos, excluding this most recent game where it was a very close game actually, but if we go look at Mahomes, I mean, he absolutely teared it up, 3 touchdowns. They didn't really need, offense was going so well that they didn't really need to kick any field goals. But if we're hoping that he gets at least 2 field goal attempted this game, I think he could smash this pretty easily because I think they're going to score a lot. So, and now if we also go look at his game log, the last 3 games he's smashed this. He's had 10, 11, and 12. And like what I said, he's had over 2 in all those games. And he's 100% too. If we go look back at this, the only field goal he had attempted, he missed. Now it wouldn't have got him 9, but let's just be realistic. He's not gonna miss now. So our next play, we're going with Mahomes over his fantasy score. Now you really, in my opinion, you can go with the passing yards too, but I'm gonna show you why I'm going with the fantasy score now. If we look at Mahomes' fantasy score versus the Broncos, most recently he's had 25, 22.8, and 26. Now he's beating them in all those lines, and if we see, he had 22.8, which was close, but that's also because he's throwing 3 interceptions and an interception. Now, most recently, Mahomes is getting back to being a pocket passer. Really, he's gotten those injuries, so he's slowing down of running the ball. But the Broncos also are pretty poverty, and they're not letting up that many interceptions, so I don't think he's really going to throw that many, if any, this game. So that also alleviates the problem of it being close. But why I also said you can go with passing yards. In the last 3 games, he smashed the passing yards, with this being the closest game at 270. The last 2 games, he's had over 300, which is absolutely amazing against the Broncos. And if we look at this, the QB position versus the Broncos are the worst and give up the most fantasy score to the QB position. And we seen earlier, a QB like Tua was just absolutely murdering them. I mean, he had probably like 30, 40 fantasy points. So, on no picks. So, I think that this is a very good opportunity for Mahomes to shine. get back to his old Mahomes throwing 3 touchdown, 300+ yard games. Now he's 3 of 5 on the season. If you look at passing yards, now he was going against. If we look at the exceptions, the Lions, well, that was a curveball of a game, and this game right here, the Jets, they actually have a really good DB room. So with our next play, we're gonna go with Rashee Rice over 30 receiving yards. Now I know you guys are also saying there's a lot of Chiefs plays, but just bear with me now. If you guys go look in Discord, I'll have way more plays, but this is what I'm rolling with for the YouTube. Now, the reasoning behind the Rashee Rice. First, if we look at his stat muse, his game log, he's had 4, 3, 5, 2, and 3 catches on at least 5 targets each game besides the Jacksonville game, which I don't really know why, but things happen. And he still ended up having 20 receiving yards. But if we look at all these games, I mean, he's had 33, 32, 59. And keep in mind, they bumped this. It used to be at 27.5. That's where I caught it originally. But I think this is still playable at 30.5. Now, in my opinion, if he gets at least 5 targets and he catches at least 3 of them, I think he gets this. If we look at his target share, he is currently listed as the receiver 1, and you may look at the percentage of snaps played and think why, because it's lower than most of the other receivers. But if we look at the target share and the percentage of receptions, it's way better than Justin Watson, Sky Moore, Kadarius Toney even, because you can see they really like their new rookie Rashee Rice. Now, if we look at outlier, he's 3 out of 5 on the season. If it's still at 27.5, he'd be 4 out of 5. Just recently, he's been killing this line. Also, to what backs up this play, if we look at the passing plays he's in, he's at an average around half of every pass play that they run. So this is really good news. I mean, I think that this is a really good line for him, and I think he could do well with this. Now, my next play, we're going to go with Javonte Williams under his fantasy score. Now, recently, he just came back from an injury, and they just announced that he's good to go. But I'm going to show you why I'm going under. He hasn't been producing lately. And if we look at him versus the Chiefs, ignore this first game because this is rookie Javonte Williams. This is the very good back we're used to. But ever since the ACL tear, he hasn't been the same. And this is the most recent last season game. And he only had 6.4. He's showing that he can't really produce against them on 12 attempts, which is still pretty good. And keep in mind that they're probably going to be getting blown out, so they're not going to be running the ball that much. And also see that he hasn't scored a rushing touchdown against them, even with this insane fantasy points performance. Now, if we look at the running back position versus the Chiefs, they are a top 10 defense against the run, only giving up 74.0 yards per game, and on average, not even a touchdown to the running back. So that's very good news. And if we look at the fantasy points, they're only giving an average of 10. So if we keep in mind that he just came back from an injury, they're saying he's good to go, but he still will be splitting work with Jaleel, their new rookie that's been shining, and still Samaje Perine, that I don't think he'll hit it. So I think these are my plays for Thursday Night Football, Chiefs versus Broncos. This is it. That's all I got. If you guys want to go look in the Discord for all my full playlists, you guys will see all my plays, and we'll have a good day. I will actually be putting this in the description along with this play. I'll be placing on Prize Picks, and if this hits, I'll give out $50 to any person that comments on this video. And I'll just shuffle it randomly. But that's going to cap it up. I'm going to leave the Discord in the description. I hope you guys had a good day. Peace. See ya.